Hey, this is Nick talking about a brand new feature in Buildertrend. This is new as of last week, so I want to get it out to you because it's a really great feature, something that we all kind of need as builders. We're talking about a built-in WIP reporting or work in progress report, which is so important for managing cash flow and recognizing revenue. So we're going to dive deep into this really quick, really hard hitting, but this report is really amazing. If you are a Buildertrend user or thinking about Buildertrend and want to take advantage of my full end-to-end course, definitely sign up for the waitlist if you're listening to this in 2025. If you're in 2026, the course is out. Go ahead and sign up and use the YouTube discount that we have. Let's get into it right here in Buildertrend, the new report that is up here, and it is the WIP report. So what are we talking about with WIP? Let me just go into Excel or Google Sheets real quick to say what we're talking about with WIP. Work in progress means we've got a project, and at certain points in time, we're invoicing for that project, but we're incurring expenses. And sometimes what we do is we over invoice or under invoice. And so what work in progress is, it's a way for us to kind of reconcile that out to show real revenue in our books. Okay, so the idea would be we have a certain contract price on a project. We've got potentially change orders and selections that give us kind of our total running price over here. And then what we'd like to do is see like, well, how are our costs to date? And we want to understand what's our percentage completion cost to date versus what our projected costs would be, gives us a percent complete. So cost to date, 32,000 against a 309 projected gives us a 10% completion here. Down here, 174 to 184, 94% complete. And so what this percent complete should do is tell us, well, how much revenue have we earned? Okay, if our total running price is 387, we've completed 10% of the project. In theory, we've earned $40,000 in revenue. But how much did we actually build to the project? In this case, we can see that I've billed 200,000 here, 178, 50,000. And so a work in progress would tell us whether or not we were over or under billed. Now, what do we do with this information? We don't necessarily go back to the client and say, here, I owe you this much. No, what we do is we understand from a cash flow perspective that I am over invoiced here, and I will expect this project to incur more costs than I'm going to be able to bill for in the future. A negative would be the opposite. I've underbilled here, so I better get caught up, right? So operationally, it's a good idea to overbill, but we have to understand that that means that our cash flow is going to be reconciled out as we go. So this work in progress is so important, but Buildertrend, as I mentioned, has built in a nice report that we're going to take a look at right now. Go to reports here, and financial work in progress should show up. Might not show up for everybody. There's a few specific criteria that make sure it shows up. I believe you have to be a cost plus builder with 15 or less open jobs, I think, but that will probably open up as the improved performance. This is a brand new report, so it's going to be changing over time. Let's get into it, and I pop open the report. And by the way, I'm impressed. I was part of the beta group on this. I gave them a lot of feedback on this. And generally speaking, especially compared to other Buildertrend reports, this is pretty strong. So what we have here is a list of our jobs and then all of the relevant columns, and we can add some to it that give us our work in progress report. So it gives us our total client price. What's the running price? Okay, what do we project the costs to be? What are our actual costs? What are our actual invoicing? And by the way, we can click and drag these things around as well. But basically, they're going to give us a lot of these percentages. And in fact, let me get this percent complete is right here. Percent complete is going to be our actual cost divided by projected cost. That gives us a percent complete. And a really nice, intuitive, and easy to use chart or report, I can click on a column and it gives me the sorting that I want as well. So I just kind of sorted by percent complete. Okay, and then basically it's going to tell us what our projected gross profit is, what's our earned revenue, and then are we over or under billed on the job. Okay, now a couple of these are kind of internal jobs that I'm not actually going to bill to the client, so I kind of don't want those. I want to remove those. So I'm going to go to my filters here, and I've got those as job group. I'm going to turn off demo, or I think it's internal. Yep, turn those off. And Swan needs to be internal as well, so let me mark that as internal real quick. So we'll go to the job info on this, and this should be marked as internal. It is. Okay, and then demo I'll turn off as well. Okay, so so there's all my jobs that I want to be able to see, okay? And so what this does is it tells me generally I'm overbilled. Now, again, operationally, that's a good idea. We want to be over-invoicing so that we get cash ahead of time and then we pay our contractors for it. But we have to keep in mind that I'm kind of like $63,000 that I might be showing in revenue right now, I have to assume that's kind of out the door because that's going to kind of come back as costs incur. I can't invoice my customers again for them. So this chart is really, really nice. Revised price, projected costs, actual costs, amount invoiced, and then our earned revenue over under invoiced. Okay. We can add columns to this really easily. Okay. We can it's a really good, like, intuitive, responsive system as well. I can sort by any of these. So I'm really, really enjoying it. And then what we do with this is if we would like to bring this into our accounting books, we can make some journal entries to offset this information, okay? And this would be kind of the next step. This is certainly an advanced technique, but what we could do is, we have a project, for example, I'm showing Mortis right now up here on QuickBooks. So Mortis is right here. I've got my revised client price, $356. I've invoiced $352. Okay, so that would tell me I've got like $4,000 left to invoice potentially, but maybe I haven't incurred all my costs yet, right? So I've got percent completes 99%, and this is telling me that I'm $276.60 over invoice. So I'm almost there. What we could do is we can add a single journal entry to our project. And this is a I would say an advanced technique, and it's optional as well, where we would say that as of this point in time, oops, I'm putting in a date instead, as of 11/10/2025, I'm over invoiced. Okay, so I can use kind of an account here for over or under billed as a liability account. Okay, in this case, I am over billed by $276.60. Okay, and I'm going to put this to the project, Mortis. Okay, and I've got this WIP over under billed that I'm going to debit. I'm going to reduce my income and increase my liability to pretty much say that, yes, I've kind of recognized all this revenue for this project, but I've kind of done so a little bit too far. And so to get my QuickBooks to show a little bit more of like, I owe this money back to the project. This one is income. This one is a liability. I can save and close this transaction here, and it's going to show that my total income should drop a little bit to really give me a better idea of what my margin is going to be. All right, so that would be that next step. And you can add more than one project to that journal entry, but that would be an advanced technique. But I want you to check out the WIP report. Ideally, or honestly, frequently what happens when we look at a report like this is we realize that maybe some of our data is off. So I would understand if you saw this and you're like, whoa, this doesn't make sense. It's like, well, let's check the data. Like, is our revised client price calculating correctly? Projected costs, actual costs. Is our budget up to date? You'd want to look at your job costing budget, make sure all of these are actually up to date. And if so, it feeds in really, really nicely and gives you an awesome looking report that's really helpful to understand, like, how am I doing on a cash flow basis? If I'm negative here, under billed, I got to think about changing my operation a little bit and invoicing maybe more frequently to make sure I capture those billables. Maybe I got to proactively invoice, even if I haven't gotten a bill from a sub yet. Maybe I got to invoice ahead of time. We'd probably want a positive number here. That would mean that we are ahead on our cash, that we maybe owe cash back to our customers, but that's generally a good thing. That means that we are getting paid in advance of the work we do, which is something we should want to do. All right, so check that out. Let me know if you have any questions. This will be changing, no doubt, from the time I record this throughout. So, if and when it makes sense, we'll provide updates. And as I mentioned, check out the end-to-end course we have, Buildertrend Accelerator. It's going to take you from nothing, if that's where you're at, or maybe you're in the middle as far as your expertise, to full-on exactly what I do within Buildertrend, full suite for using Buildertrend. All right, leave your comments, and I will see you on the next video.